Greetings everyone, today I'm at the Marriott Hotel in Northampton. We've just had a meeting with some investors, and joining me today is our financial advisor James, who lives out in the Rutland area, and he covers most of Rutland, Leicestershire, and obviously in terms of reach with his financial services he can cover pretty much most of the country. James will be joining me hopefully weekly from now on to answer your questions about all matters financial. So first of all, I'd like to say welcome James, how are you?
I'm really good, thanks Anthony, thanks for having us on board. Hi everyone, hi Internet.
And what have you been doing today? Because I think you were out with a developer somewhere, weren't you?
Yeah, so it's prospecting day to day, travelling around, meeting people, just getting a lay of the land locally, find out what's going on. We were just saying earlier that it's really good to meet people face to face to get a feel for, you get a real, you get to build a relationship, you get a real feel for what's really going on. It's
initially I thought let's start off in stages, and why not start off with the real basics, your credit file.
Yes.
So I was thinking in very simple terms. I know that it's very elementary and many of you will probably already know this, but so forgive us if we're boring you with the basics, but if we start off with the fundamentals we can work through to the rest later on. That tell us what the importance is of the credit file with regards to all matters of borrowing, especially where mortgages are concerned.
Yeah, it's incredibly important, this one, and probably more, as you say, targeted at the first-time buyers or people that are renting who would be buyers. We're thinking, can I, if ever, afford to purchase my own property? It's so important because essentially, I spend a few times a week or month going into schools and talking to students of all ages about credit files, which is quite interesting. And how I say it to them is it's your financial reputation, and it's basically telling lenders, banks, financial institutions if you are reliable, if you're a safe bet, if you can be bet upon to be lent money and therefore pay it back. So it's really, really, really important. And I would say first thing, if you're listening to this, you're thinking I know nothing about credit reference agencies or credit file, or I've heard about it but I'm not too sure, I would get online and do a little bit of reading around the subject. The three main credit reference agencies: TransUnion, Equifax and Experian. But if you go onto Martin Lewis's Money Saving Expert website and click on a link there that they have, you can actually access your, I think it's your Experian credit file for free for life. So it will give you an idea of what score you already have. Once you've got that, you've got some great information to be going on with to then improve your credit score. And the better you can get it, obviously the more favourably a lender will look at you in terms of the APR that they'll charge on a mortgage. So that's the first thing.
What would you say are the first steps that people should take to improve their credit file and lessen the risk of having anything adverse appear on it?
Yeah, really, really good question. So first thing is to delve into the credit file itself and go and have a look on there and see if there's anything on there that shouldn't be on there. I've known of people who have had an ex-partner who they're no longer associated with, and there's still something that the ex-partner had taken out many moons beforehand, still appearing on their credit file, and you can ask for things like that to be removed because that's having an adverse effect on your own credit file. So get to grips with that, do a bit of reading around and look at your own credit file and find out if everything that's on there should be on there. If it is, then set about finding ways to improve it. And that could be as simple, and the first one is whatever property you're residing in at the moment, get on the electoral roll at that property. That just shows a lender that you're putting down roots and you're sort of putting your hand up and saying I'm in the game and I'm looking to be serious about my spending and my residence and where I'm staying. So electoral roll is a great first one to do. The second one is kind of foundational. I would say get to know yourself really well. It's a self-awareness about what are the drivers behind your spending habits? Why do you spend on the things that you spend on? Are you somebody that if you have a bad day, you just go and hit the shops and go and spend some money on whatever it might be? That could be a really great way of sort of understanding how you spend and how you save, and then starting to address those areas. From that, I would look at outgoings that you already have. If you go through your bank statement and look at, well, I'm paying for Netflix, I'm paying for BBC iPlayer, I'm paying for the gym, and if we always say saying yes to something is saying no to something else. So if you're saying yes to several subscriptions, could you afford perhaps to trim a couple back in favour of saying, actually I want to put a deposit down for my house and save for that instead? So that would be the next step. And if you don't already use credit, I mean, a lot of people sort of getting onto the property market for the first time sort of think, well, I haven't got a credit card, I'm in a good place, I don't actually have credit. Actually, we find if you can go out and get a credit card and start, this is what I did to build my credit file back in the day. I got a credit card and I bought my fuel bill, my petrol, once a week. I put on a credit card, I drove around for work, and I paid that bill off before the end of the month, so I didn't incur any interest on it. And what that's showing the credit card company and lenders in the future is this person is reliable, he can use credit wisely. I didn't spend anything else on it, I just used it for one purchase per week, which was my fuel, and I paid it off at the end of the month beforehand, so it just built my credit rating up. That can be a really, really good way of showing a would-be lender that you are reliable and you can make wise decisions with
so realistically, somebody who intends to improve their credit file, if they were to cancel all their subscriptions, not have a credit card, and literally it would just be their fundamentals that they pay through their account, that wouldn't necessarily improve their credit file.
Sure. Because
the lenders need to see some sort of borrowing activity.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
Is it also correct, if you have a credit card, even if you do have a debt on it, that once your debt as compared to the credit limit on the card exceeds a certain point, percentage-wise of what your credit limit is, that could also go against you on your credit file?
Yeah, that can have a negative effect as well, because it's basically showing the financial institutions that you're not able to handle credit wisely. So it's staying within those realms of not having anything at all to having some but going over and above board and not being able to pay it off and manage it wisely.
Okay, so if there's anybody out there who wants some advice about the credit file, or indeed all matters financial, from mortgage, remortgage, buy-to-let, whatever it is, obviously you can contact James directly anytime on this email, james@trellos.com. And what are your thoughts about people contacting you for some initial advice, James?
Yeah, absolutely. Telephone's always on, email's always getting checked, so do reach out. Any questions that you've got. We do this because, one, it's our job, but we're also really passionate about it. We love talking. Me and Antony could talk about property and finance all day long. So yeah, if you've got any questions or queries, if there's any way that we can help whatsoever, do drop us a line. We're happy to get in touch and receive your emails. No problem at all.
So just so people know, what do you charge them if they would like to contact you and ask for some initial advice?
Absolutely nothing. It's completely free.
Sounds like somebody I know.
Yeah. We're just happy to have a chat, have a conversation. We can point you in the right direction. Then it's
so
all good.
There you go. Obviously, I've had lots of questions from people following my videos about mortgages and buy-to-let and what they should do about one thing or another. The problem is as follows. It is that for me to express an opinion, make suggestions, perhaps point things out to you as things to consider, to look out for, that's one thing. But when I'm asked a specific question, then I'm not an FCA registered advisor, so it's not only unethical but illegal for me to actually officially give advice. I can only express my opinion. But this is where James steps in, because James is an FCA registered financial advisor, and he also has a wonderful colleague with many, many years experience in all matters of the financial industry. So I'm sure if you have any question that you need an answer to, if you get in touch with James, he'll be able to help, and we'll be continuing our videos on financial matters very, very soon. Thank you very much. It's bye from me.
Goodbye from me.
Bye.